difference there. And they've been doing oil and gas wells in Ohio since Rockefeller. That's how he created the industry. And Rockefeller, when they drilled a well, and Standard Oil of Ohio drilled a well, and what they did during the process, they would put one piece of pipe down the well. And that one piece of pipe separated yourself from your water table and the oil that they brought out of the ground. Just one piece of pipe. No cement, nothing else. And that piece of pipe is basically about a 7-inch piece of pipe. And you still see them sticking around the ground. But now in Ohio, what we've done under my work and what we've done, and I want to show you, this is not a bullseye for Dave Hall. What we've done and this process is, you see this outer black ring right here? The outer, that's a piece of pipe. American made, American tested, pressure tested. That's one piece of pipe. We could have stopped there, like they did this back in the day of Rockefeller and Standard Oil High. Then we do a special cement in between there, folks. A special cement. So that's pretty good. Well, we decided, no, let's put another piece of pipe in here. Pressure test. And remember, we're protecting your water table. So we put another piece of pipe in there. American jobs, American companies, tested by Americans. Then we put a concrete in between those two. Then we go down through here and we do it again until we have our last piece of pipe that's high pressured at 6,000 pounds per square inch, way above. And I'm a big NASA guy, and redundancy is what NASA did with fail-safe programs. Well, look how many areas of protection we have in your water table. We go way above and beyond. We work with the industry saying, we don't want to overregulate you, but they know that this is something that's going to secure. And I had somebody ask me, well, how long is the concrete going to last? How long is that going to last? Well, folks, even a piece of pipe that size lasts over 100 years, just one piece. When you have the protection layers, and one of those wells is basically probably in production for 15 years before they pull the pipe and plug it off. So, there's a lot, everyone's going to say, oh, what if? But look what we do at the level we do in the state of Ohio. Protect your water table and beyond. And in that process, people, and there's a lot of people who are going to say, well, these bad oil companies are just going to hurt our environment. I mean, they want to go in there and they want to recover that natural resources. And we are creating jobs because of that. I mean, look what they've done to the coal industry. We still ship coal, but it's shipped to China and they burn it there. They don't put any regulatory clean stacks there, and it's shipped to China. We can recover the resources, natural resources, in a safe manner and do it right, which we have in this process, and we have inspectors on site during this whole process. We have people on site, we have the people in the eyes on the ground during this process. Very important process, and I just wanted to show you that. I showed that to the Cleveland Plain Dealer when they were doing my editorial interview, which they interviewed me for a long time on Wednesday. They were looking at endorsements. Who knows where that one's going to go? But I would like to say, I just talked to a firm business who's looking at a new facility along I-71 that they were looking at doing a program where they're going to do compressed natural gas vehicles. Your wave of future and your semis that are using diesel right now, it'll be natural gas in the near future. It's cheap burning, it's cheap, and it's amazing what we're going to look at our cars down the road. And we will be have an opportunity in the future that we will be filling up with compressed natural gas. Very good clean burning, like I said, clean burning. Can't they, these people are saying, they say, well, the environment. Well, we are going to put less emissions, no emissions out there with this compressed natural gas. But people want to, yes, ma'am?
This compressed natural gas, does it come out in a liquid
Yeah, you'll have different things, and there's a conversion kit that the Ohio company is already converted in. There's another business we've started up that will convert your vehicle over, and you will, it'll cost you a little bit up front, but it will then allow you to run cheap. Our problem is we got to make sure we get the infrastructure of the gas stations, the compressed natural gas stations throughout Ohio, and that's what we're working on right now.
So it's cheaper than regular gas.
At least about 60% cheaper. Folks, look what we can do when we get our school buses and our everything out, and how much tax dollars we'll save, and just less cost to energy. Look what you've been paying for natural gas in this area because of the shale play. You know, I had somebody say, well, we don't want it. I had a mayor say, well, we don't want any of this to happen. I said, well, then you don't want cheap natural gas for your residents? Folks, I mean, look how cheap it is, natural gas. Look, we're going to go into a winter, and we're going to have natural gas prices that are going to be very low because of the abundance of the drilling process. And I have to say this. I've talked to experts who are telling me in front of my committee that we have, just in early development, at least over 100 years of natural gas reserves in Ohio alone. 100 years. That's not talking the oil. That's just the natural gas alone. And you look at the oil and the opportunities in the United States and North America, and looking at we have the opportunity to do is to develop those resources. Governor Romney is using a lot of Ohio's energy policy as his platform. And you look at the things we can have developed. We will, if we move forward, and this is why the election is so important, the election in Washington. We have to move forward in our energy policy of developing these resources. If this thing stops, we're dependent on who? The people who do not like us. And folks, wouldn't it be great? We wouldn't have to buy one drop of oil from people we pay $100 a barrel over in the Middle East.
Absolutely, you're right.
And we have the opportunity to develop a resource. Folks, they can keep what they have over there. They can keep it, and we have an opportunity to create the jobs, which we are. We're proving that in Ohio. We're proving that in North Dakota. We're proving that in Pennsylvania. And the energy side is creating the jobs. We have this boom. It's not a fly-by-night industry. It's been proven scientifically it can be done. It's been done for years. We can do that, and we can be independent of other countries where we send dollars over there and they want to kill us every week.
Right.
Folks?
I have a question, it's probably a silly question.
Please.
If you've got two cars with natural gas, if they collide, does somebody blow up?
You have tanks already developed, the research already that will not blow up. It's just like any kind of accident with gasoline cars. You have protections and puncture protection process so that you don't have that problem. Yes, you could have it in gasoline. They won't blow. It'll be just like a regular gasoline fire. It won't be a bomb. You aren't driving around in bombs. I mean, I'll just tell you this. And that's a good question, because I want to make sure to clarify that. We've already got natural gas buses out there. We already have the Smith Dairy out of Warville. Their whole fleet is natural gas now. There's natural gas vehicles that have been in the market for the last 25 years. We just didn't develop them. Someone wanted to go with another energy source, an alternative energy. And folks, these vehicles, you go farther on a tank, and it's cheaper. So, you're going to always have that potential out there of anything. It's like I said to somebody, when they were saying what ifs. I remember my great-grandmother saying, when the electricity came down their lane, what if this thing would burn our house down? Well, we didn't stop electricity coming down our farm lane. We didn't stop doing things, and we got to get back to a country who's willing to move forward and say, let's take the what ifs. We'll deal with putting programs out there and safeguarding the water tables or safeguarding issues out there, but we got to make sure we are moving forward this country and not the Obama forward, Romney forward. Yes, ma'am.
I have
tell you that. It's because all the regulations they put on there and the refined process, even if it isn't refined, they still want to put regulations on that. And I say your diesel vehicle will be a thing of the past here in the near future on it because of the natural gas process. But it's amazing. If you look at what's in California right now, try to buy some fuel in California, you have so much requirement because they add things to it and they do this and they take things away. But on the diesel thing, it is actually it's been a deterrent with our economy because of the trucking process and hauling and shipping equipment out throughout our nation. And when the natural gas trucks come out on board, it's just going to be amazing and a cheaper process. You will be able to convert. And that's the conversion process, and that's why Ohio Company is in the fringe of development, and they already are converting vehicles over in Ohio as we speak. It's just that I have to move the process forward with the governor and everyone else to get these stations I call, now it'll be natural gas stations. They'll look like stations, you won't even know the difference when you get up there and you pump in your product. Yes, sir.
Is there coordination and cooperation with other states? It's fine going around Ohio.
Yeah.
What happens, you go to Pennsylvania and they don't have the pumps, or wherever else you want to drive out of the state?
I'm glad you asked that. The governor actually, in his leadership, has brought all the states together that has the natural gas play, and the governor has taken the lead to coordinate with the other states, and we will be the leader on this process of making sure that we have those out there, because when the trucking company, and when a guy's going across the road, across state, he's got to find a place to pull off at an interstate. And I've been working with a lot of the interstate companies right now. They're looking at developing those infrastructure throughout the Pennsylvania and Indiana's and the Michigan and the play. And as this thing grows and Ohio becomes a leader of this whole process, I feel that we'll be the ones who have the first foot in the door with the technology and selling that process to the other states. And that's why I'm very appreciative of our governor's leadership and Bill Batchelder in allowing us to move forward on this process. Good question. Yes, sir.
How is gas wells versus oil wells different? In other words, in Ohio, are they both the same? Are they different?
Okay. Ohio, we treat everything the same. The process. Everything, a gas well, oil well. In some far eastern Ohio, it's mostly gas, but we still do the same process.
So they're two different wells,
They're
though?
the same. It just depends what you get. You can get both. You can also get wet gas, which is a product you can use for plastics. The Akron area is very excited of what they can do with the plastics and rubbers that they're looking at with the tires and everything else. So there's excitement, and we're finding out throughout the companies are looking at Ohio and coming back, and we're actually starting to get our students back that we lost, our young kids. And I'll tell you a short story. I've been going all over Ohio, and I've now spoke 209 meetings about oil and gas in the state of Ohio, in Washington. And I had a couple who'd been following me, a grandmother and a mother, and they were giving me a hard time. And they were, and they have the right to do that. And I applaud their passion on that process as they follow me throughout the state of Ohio. And just recently, I'm going to get up and kind of like a crowd like this, and they were there and thought, okay, I know I'm going to get yelled at and everything else, but I'm out there, I'm chairman, I can handle it, I know the facts. So I get up there and I start talking jobs. These two people, the grandmother and mother, started clapping. I thought, uh-oh, something's not right here. I did it again, I talked about jobs, started clapping again. But I got into the twilight zone somewhere, well, after the meeting, they came up and the grandmother hugged me. I thought, oh, what she put in my water. But she said, thank you. I said, what, you've been out there hammering me pretty hard in the last year. And she goes, my grandson and my granddaughter-in-law and my great-grandkids moved back to Ohio because of the industry. We're getting people coming back. Families are moving back. We've lost a lot in our population base. As you saw, we lost congressmen. We've lost people. We're going to gain population now, folks. And those people who are young and are brightest, maybe we can keep you in Ohio now. That's my goal. You don't have to leave Ohio. You'll have a job here, a good quality job. And that's what my goal is, and I'll fight every day and go out there every day for you and you on this process. But don't let people say it's something terrible out there. We are going to do a great job. And the governor said, how do I get moms on board? Moms, and everyone's going to get on board because their kids are staying in Ohio, they're coming back. And we're proving it. And I got to talk to Governor Rick Perry recently, and he goes, you're taking your people back. We are, and he said you're doing the right thing. In Ohio and your energy plan and what you have done here gets it. So folks, we can get it. We can do it. But I'm not going to let President Obama take credit for something Bill Batchelor, the governor, and many of us have done down in Ohio. We've done the right thing. We just want Washington to get out of our way.
Well, then mommy should do an ad about like that. That's how it's gonna be done.
It needs to come out.
It's, because he is getting credit, I'm telling you.
I know, we're going to fight back,
Yeah,
folks.
but you only have 40-some days.
Or 10 days.
10 days.
Well,
And-
yeah, for the first voters.
Yeah, but we're fighting back. I'm committed, and a lot of our representatives are committed, and a lot of our volunteers are committed to get the message out. And it is tough for us to buy any media. And it's tough, difficult, when the liberal media, the newspapers, won't allow us to get the message out. I have spoke to the major papers over and over and over, and they just won't sell the message. So where are we gonna get it? It's grassroots. We gotta get the message out. It's not Obama who created these jobs. It's not. And we gotta get out there and say, it's what the policies of Governor Kasich and Bill Batchelor has done in Columbus. We didn't start turning things around. Like, just think about this, folks. Stimulus package, how long was that? Almost 4 years? About 3.5 years stimulus package? Did anything happen in Ohio? No. It didn't change till Governor Kasich and Bill Batchelor became speaker. It's simple math, a simple process. Until we did what we did in Columbus a year and 9 months ago, we had companies running out of this state. We put forward policies, and we have a Jobs to Ohio program that goes out there and says, what are you doing? How can we grow your business? How can we partner? And that's where we're at right now. I remember under President Obama and Governor Strickland, you ever heard of National Cash Register out of Dayton, Ohio?
Yeah.
One of the biggest firms in Ohio. They were saying, hey, Governor Strickland, President Obama, we're having issues in Ohio. We need to look at this thing. How can we partner? They didn't get a call back. Not one call back. And they bolted for another state, folks. They bolted. We don't allow that to happen now. We're going to fight.
Invite them back.
Excuse me?
Invite them back.
We are. The people, actually, the companies we've lost, and some of them, we brought them back. We have already. The media doesn't print that. But most of our jobs are people who built their business, not Obama, but the people who truly have built their business with the small size businesses. That's where Ohio needs to sell its message and say, it's a business like this, or it's a company, because they're not fighting the red tape or regulations as like we had before. We're streamlining, and my job as a legislator is whoever it is to get somebody from point A to point B, turn around quick and give them an answer. And that's what the governor and Speaker Batchelder has empowered us to do, is get out there and truly be servants. Truly work and do your job. And we're going to get out there. We just need your help. Yes?
Have you got any pushback from the EPA on this?
US EPA?
Yes.
I would like you to, they actually wanted to fight this thing, and they actually did some testing in Pennsylvania, because Pennsylvania had early started the oil and gas process, and just a little over a month and a half ago, US EPA came out with a issue saying there was no problem at all. US EPA. So if the US EPA is saying there's not a problem, then there's not a problem, because they're the ones that really causes the problem. But I'm worried that if a certain gentleman, certain president gets reelected, he is going to order a shutdown, a moratorium on all of this.
That's what I was going to say.
And that's where I was going to finish up on this whole process is, if he gets reelected, folks, you're not going to have cheap natural gas. You're already having problems with the electricity, cost of electricity, because of coal. It's just, I mean, so we have a battle going on, and it's not just, it's a lot of dollars can be pulled out of your pocket if he puts a moratorium on oil and gas exploration in the United States.
Can he do that?
Yes, he can.
Who's gonna stop it? The Attorney General?
Well, that's when we pull in our state rights. And that's where, we are strong in Columbus, and we need to stay strong as under the watchful eyes of Batchelder and Governor Kasich is, we still have our state rights, and we can't push back.
We all wonder why the media is all on Obama's side. It just drives us nuts. The Democratic side.
Well, yeah.
It's just so sad.
You got to remember, I mean, on the media side, a lot of kids go to journalism school, and here we go again, and here's what you have. So.
That was a plan long back in the 60s, that the liberals said they need their people to go into the media, and they need them to go into teaching. And that was their plan. It's on the book from years ago.
Yeah.
And the church.
But if you look at, folks, if you look closely at the media market in certain areas of failing financially, the paper market, you're starting to see that that's not working. Yeah, you have the liberal TV media, and unfortunately they're out there. But got to remember who owns the Today Show. It's something called General Electric. And NBC, General Electric. General Electric has a lot invested in alternative energy. Think about that. Yes, sir.
On this natural gas powered in the cars, is it possible to have natural gas compressed and have a switch or changeover where you can just burn gasoline too in the same kind of a setup? Do one, and then if your natural gas gets low and you can't have a service station, you could flip a switch and then burn gasoline until you got there or whatever.
Sounds like you want to start a business.
Good
idea. Good idea. I would say that there are companies already looking at conversion, but the problem is it's called, and I put a lot of time and effort sitting in meetings and hours of meetings. It's called a little orifice plate that allows the natural gas or something. It's just like you would think on propane or something like that, and you go to turn on your propane grill, you would have that tank there. The problem is that orifice, until you can get a kind of a conversion orifice that will allow the flow of the fuel, I think it's being developed, and you'll probably have something on that level down the road.
One will shut the one off, and then
you can turn that on, but you'll find out when you get in natural gas. You'll down the road when we have people will forget about the gasoline process. But as in the early process, I know where you're going, because you don't want to be stuck somewhere in the middle of Idaho and they don't have natural gas, and you're wanting to visit a relative out there. Yes, sir.
Is this drilling process being employed in other areas of the United States or just here in Ohio?
This will now be, I actually talked to the big companies, this will be the roadmap to all of the drilling process in the United States. You're seeing other states look at this bill and say, whoa, this is out there and this is something dynamic and it's something special. And I feel that this will truly be the roadmap, even in the Gulf Coast, and I can even see this being the roadmap in the all the other plays in the world, because of what we've done. And Ohio has taken a lead on this whole process, and technology is really moving forward on a lot of other areas. Someday we will be hydraulic stimulating wells without any kind of water. It'll be on like propane gel. I'm working with an Ohio company right now, forefront of doing testing right now that, you know, eventually there will be no water to be used for because the gel will turn into back into its gas form where it originally came from, and it comes out. So we're looking at that. So we're not just sitting on, Ohio's just not sitting back going, well, we did a great job. We're looking beyond now. We're saying, what's the next greatest technology we can employ and create jobs in an industry so that we are the leader in the nation, in the world on this whole process. And, you know, we are getting it done the right way. Yes, sir.
Is it a technology that we'll be able to sell to other states?
What we're looking at, the governor has asked a lot of our colleges now, our state colleges, on making sure we do the patent rights on anything we do. So we're working that, make sure if if we're paying our tax dollars towards a process like that, we want to make sure that we get a benefit. Ohioans get a benefit in the whole process.
Awesome.
Good question. Yes, sir.
We, from the Youngstown area, you're well aware of VAM Star,
Yeah.
some of the companies down there make high pressure,
Yes.
pipe for this industry, and they can't get steel fast enough.
Yes.
Republic's putting in more
Yeah.
mills, they're putting in more furnaces because they can't get the steel fast
Yes.
enough to meet the demand.
Yes.
They're growing, they're doubling in size. We've seen this before with companies, Youngstown was steel, Acton was rubber.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the Democrats, it wasn't the regulations that drove Timken out of Canton or the rubber out of Akron, it was the unions.
Yeah.
And we're growing these companies, and we're bringing these companies in, and they're thriving. And we still have this sleeping monster that drove the industry out of this state before. We're doing all these things to bring this industry in. What are we doing to keep the unions from their greed, driving them out again?
I would like to say that on the trade union side, they've been very good at working with us on you know, not being overburdensome. They've actually know that this is a partnership. And Speaker Batchelor, I have to give him a lot of credit working with the operating engineers and the sheet metal workers and the painters, trade unions. We've built a strong relationship of understanding everyone has a place in this industry. You're talking the steel mills, and that's going to be an issue that we're going to have to be always addressing. You know, the issue of you know, but you look at that, and I spend a lot of time getting B&M Star moving in that area. Worked hard on that whole process, and that has been a topic of